Thank you, Cassandra. Next speaker is going to be Paul Cottrell, who's going to tell us about about this response network. I was going to call it Stranding Network. It's response network.
Good morning, everyone. I have, in fact, been scarred by the chicken a couple years ago, so I'm definitely going to keep my talk within the 5 minutes. And also, Pamela said she's going to beat me with that chicken if I go over. So, what I want to do today is just kind of talk on some of the highlights, but also really just thank the many organizations, individuals, researchers, academia, NGOs that really make this program work. Clicker here. I also have video, so I'm hoping that's going to work because it's a big part of my presentation. Yeah. Start. I think everybody's probably aware of the BC Marine Mammal Response Network. Again, we've had a stellar year in terms of the number of incidents reported. And I think the 1-800 number, and I brought lots of stickers and information on that, it's so important for this program for individuals that do see injured, distressed, entangled marine mammals to phone right away. And I think every year we've been getting better at that and more calls that are timely. So we've been, it's really helping our success rate. Because of financial restrictions and resource limitations, we focus on species at risk, obviously the threatened and endangered, and also species of concern. And our success rate for response, whether it's pictures or species ID or actual on-scene response, is quite high for species at risk. Our volunteer network and groups that help is coast-wide these days. And so we're really happy about that. And of course, we have individuals that, Dr. Rafferty, for example, we've really called upon this year because of the large number of large whale deaths. So it's, and I'll be going through some of that as well as some of the number of whale entanglements that we've had this year. So we're well over 500 incidents already this year, and we're kind of in line with the last couple years. And this program was initiated in 2008, and Lisa Spaven is just an amazing start to this program and really developed this program into what it is. So without Lisa, this program would not be where it's at. So I want to acknowledge Lisa. Quickly, just going through the strandings, the large whale strandings, we've had a huge number of fin whales this year. We've had 5, 3 in the last couple weeks up in Bella Bella, all together on the same beach. So along with that, we've had 6 humpback whales. For the fin whales, we were able to do necropsies on all 5. For the humpback whales, we were able to get out and sample 3 of those. We've also had a dead sperm whale and a dead gray whale. The gray whale we were able to sample as well. Because of Dr. Rafferty's, which I'll just show there, he's in his office there. I've spent a lot of time this year with Stephen, and because he is so busy, a lot of these the results are pending on these necropsies. So we're hoping in the next 6 months to get results. A lot of the samples that we have, we're looking at biotoxins as issues. There's also vessel strike issues, ear entanglement issues. So piecing all those together, something that we're looking into. Just we've had primarily these large whale deaths have been Central Coast and North Coast, which is quite interesting and kind of leads into, we're not sure if there's a relationship, but in Alaska, as you all know, there been a huge large whale die-off, more than normal, up to probably 40 large whales this summer, spring and fall. So it's obviously a concern, and we were lucky enough to sample a lot of our animals. So that's kind of filtering in and feeding into that whole process as well with NOAA. And luckily, they're paying for a lot of our samples to get analyzed, which is very helpful as our budget is very limited. So I want to acknowledge just the whale watch industry, value that they play for the network. They're the eyes and ears out there. In particular, we had a couple of killer whale entanglements this year, which is quite rare. And the eyes and ears out there, we had A77, who about a month ago was seen with, it's on the right-hand side, or I guess Yeah, the right-hand side. And we were very concerned because it's quite rare to see killer whales entangled. So there was a big effort to try to relocate transient that was entangled. And of course, we couldn't relocate the animal until about a week ago. And seen the animal 2 different occasions, and the animal is gear-free, so we're very appreciative of that. On the left-hand side, you're probably all aware of the Central Coast Cetacea Lab, which is a valuable member of our team. Worked with Hartley Bay First Nations to deal with this stranded young killer whale up in near Bella Bella Squally Channel, and did a fantabulous job of working with this animal over a tidal cycle and then ensuring that the animal got free at the end of it. So another great success. We also had a killer whale transient again off French Creek that was, and a lot of what we're seeing is, especially with transient A77, they seem to have a bad affliction of actually playing with floats and ropes. So we're going to be watching this animal, and something that it's been noticed a number of times, this animal playing with this type of thing. So, and also the one transient off French Creek was partially entangled, and Coast Guard were able to get out, and that was early summer, and help this animal and they're free. I just want to, we've had a huge number of large whale entanglements this year, a little more than normal, but the key has been that we've been able to get out there in quick manner. Within 24 hours is huge. Once these animals are seen trailing gear, that we can respond, and we have a very high success rate if we can get out there. We got, and I think this year Brian Gisborne has been huge with the west coast of Vancouver Island, and spotted probably most of the whales out there for us, and been a great help as well in when we have been out to try to help these animals. Again, the Central Coast Cetacea Lab, Janie and Herman, and have been out with their trudging around with Hartley Bay First Nation with satellite tags and buoys to try to attach that to the trailing gear of these animals. It has been a challenge, but we have had a number of successes. And what I've got is a little bit of video of the Humpback River, or the Powell River Humpback Rescue, which is pretty, it's one of the first ones we've had in the inside, and it was a young animal, and it was actually anchored to the bottom. And I've got some cool video that I hope I can show. How do I do that? And it just shows the degree of, this animal actually had 50 prawn trap string anchoring to the bottom, and it was actually through the tail flute, tail stalk, through the mouth, and basically hogtied. Recreational fisher found it the night before when we were out fishing. And you can see this is probably only 24 hours, just the damage that polysteel rope has done. And this really helped getting this GoPro video of seeing how the whale was entangled. Because we thought, we didn't realize there was actually 3 wraps through the mouth to get hogtied. But we were able to then start from the mouth portion, release the tension on the mouth, and then cut off the wraps around the tail. And this animal was exhausted. It's likely this animal would have, I don't know how much longer it would have been able to hold that strain up, but it was basically stationary. So we could approach it pretty close. Great help from the Canadian Coast Guard and fisher officers in Powell River. Again, it's just it was just over a 24-hour period that we believe was there. And it's the first animal that we've had in prawn gear for 3 years. It tended to go into neutrally buoyant rope between traps, so it's been a positive in terms of entanglements with here. And just, this is, again, again. This is just some of the cutting that we did, and just shows the animal go off in the sunset. I also wanted to mention the value of our sea lion disentanglement team. I thought Wendy was going to be speaking, but just Marty and Wendy, the Vancouver Aquarium. I'm glad we don't have volume here because there was some swear words. You know, again, the MERS is a huge Marine Education and Research Society, Jackie Hildebrand, Jared Towers, and Christy have been awesome in terms of coverage of entangled whales in key areas. And Christy was up in Fitzhugh Sound during a particularly bad salmon net fishery to make sure that if any animals were tangled, we respond. I'm probably missing lots of people, but we have, and again, Stephen Raverty and Hein really have been tremendous this year. I think I've spent more time with Stephen certain months than my wife, traveling around trying to, and you can call Stephen and he's ready in 12 hours. So it's just, you know, just the people in this room and within the experts that we have here really make the program work, and we're hoping that we can continue with these successes. And again, the 1-800 number is right here, and I'm done.
So if there's any questions for Paul while Stephen comes down. Call back to the mic.
Yeah, all of that damage in the tailstock and even within the fluke, that polysteel rope, as anybody that's worked with, is fairly abrasive, and it's amazing how quickly it can work into the skin and blubber. And it's imagine a week later that animal would be in rough